Okay, this is part 7 of AJ Journey. I'm going to be talking about music. If you haven't watched my videos before, the purpose of this is basically to talk about my real life, Second Life, how one affects the other, so you can relate to whether you be a newbie on Second Life or you be an older person. You can relate, put your comments down, share your journey a little bit in the comments. Just keep them courteous, nice, helpful, and I'd appreciate that. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, I'm going to be talking about music and how it affects people, real life and Second Life. I've heard people say in Second Life, some of them are hanging around in a particular place and they say, I come here to chill, to listen to the music, and just hang out. Those type of people that I've run across are frequently alone, and they're just there to kind of listen to the music. There are clubbing people that run around SL, and they look for all the in clubs. I will prefix to say there are a lot of empty clubs in SL. Like right now, I'm sitting in a club I have no affiliation with, but there's nobody here but me. It could simply be a matter of the run time. Some clubs aren't open 24/7. Some are just open in the evenings or the Second Life mornings. So anyway, who knows? But there are a lot of clubs in SL that cater to music enthusiasts. However, some people just go to the clubs to kind of use it as a giant pickup place, to scope out the people, to meet with people, to be around people, and sometimes, to flirt. Say, hey, strike up a conversation. Before you know it, you're a couple. However, I'm not going to deal with that. I will say that clubs are hard work. You have, like so many things in SL, if you're not enjoying them, it's not going to last. A lot of people think, oh, a club would be so neat. DJs, live performers. I can run my own club. That sounds pretty romantic on the surface, but when you get right down to it, prepare to work. If you're going to run a club, you're going to have to schedule DJs, have staff people that's going to monitor whether a DJ or a host shows up, that kind of thing. That being said, a lot of people that enjoy music, they carry that over to Second Life and they don't mind hosting or DJing. It gives them a way to play music, and whether 3 or 4 come or 25 come and more, they're doing it for their own pleasure kind of thing. Music, well, why are we drawn to music? There's good reason for it. It boosts our mood and happiness, reduces stress. These are some of the statistics on music. Supports memory and cognition, stimulates your brain activity, improves learning and motivation. It slows your cognitive decline, and that's sort of interesting as a sidebar, because there are folks that say most of the people in Second Life are older people these days. Enhance your physical performance and fosters connection. We talked about that briefly by mentioning the different clubs in Second Life. People go there for some sort of connection and listening to music. Going back to my first illustration of a person that's just hanging out and say they're coming to SL to relax and listen to some music, well, there's reason for that. It also is good for the soul. There's certain music at certain times people gravitate towards. My go-to music, for example, when I was separating myself emotionally and physically from my relationship in real life, my go-to music was Annie Lennox, Walking on Broken Glass, Sweet Dreams, music like that. It depends on my mood, and I'm sure you're much the same way of which music you listen to. There's some rock and blues, Delta blues, that has its place, and it's great mood music too for a particular occasion. If you're feeling wild and wonderful, rock music is the way to go. I would lean towards the classic rock myself. So, how does music boost your mood and your happiness? It gets to the core of your being. Your brain activity is different when you're listening to music, and this affects you, whether real life or Second Life. So if you're coming to Second Life for music, it's much the same reason you gravitate towards certain music in real life. Perhaps you're not a club hopper in real life, but you enjoy clubs in Second Life. That gives you a venue to experience it. Music does reduce stress, whether you're doing the club scene or you're relaxing on a Second Life beach, or you're in real life just chilling with your headphones in the privacy of your own home. Supports your memory. If you're remembering lyrics or singing along, remembering songs, those songs are attached to feelings you had when you first heard that song, or perhaps you've gravitated towards one particular type of music. You've listened to it over the years, over and over again. Before you know it, you know those tunes and you can sing along, whether it be in the shower, in Second Life with your mic off, or whatever the case might be. Music does stimulate your brain activity. So in that realm, Second Life is therapy if you're coming here to listen to music and experience the music scene on Second Life. It helps stimulate certain parts of your brain that wouldn't otherwise be stimulated, and that's a good thing. Improves learning and motivation. Okay, it gets the brain going. It starts things, revving things up that wouldn't otherwise be revved up. I know myself, I DJ sometimes in Second Life, and I like to play the music. Set it up in the stream, pick out tunes, preview the music before I actually do the set. Those sorts of things help me. It's a form of therapy. And I'm sure other DJs and hosts that host for certain DJs feel the same way. It slows your cognitive decline. If you're an older person and you find it that your focus is just not there, music can help stimulate that, slow your cognitive decline as you age. Music can enhance your physical performance. If you've ever gone dancing in Second Life, and you're listening to tunes, you notice that your heart rate goes up, your feelings are different, and you feel more like moving about. And it's the same way in real life. If you got music that you're really attuned to, some women, for example, will put on a headset and run their vacuum all over the house. It motivates them to do the housework or to do some chore that they really weren't looking forward to. Perhaps they're going to work and they crank up that radio in the car or put in that CD as they go to work or travel from work. It's going to enhance our physical performance. It fosters connection. I'd like to say something about a lot of people come to SL for relationships, whether it be partnering or just feeling close to somebody or a connection. If you've been in Second Life for a while and you've been in some sort of what you consider more intimate relationship than just a casual friendship, perhaps they've tossed you tunes. They picked out tunes. They've copied and pasted the link so you could listen to it. It affects your feelings and mood about them if you're sharing that. So, I'm speaking from the heterosexual perspective, but hey, if you're a guy and you're tossing her tunes every now and then, that's going to cement your Second Life relationship. Some of you know that and have used that. Same way, if you're a gal and you're trying to impress a guy, You run across a tune that reminds you of him or makes you think of his personality, and you share that tune with him by copying, pasting perhaps a YouTube music that you've heard. That cements or make your relationship closer. And I'm sure you've experienced that. It works the same way in real life. If you're enjoying being around friends, you're going to share certain tunes, you're going to play certain tunes with each other, that sort of thing. Music is good for us, and there's lots of places in SL to experience that. I would say if you're club hopping, there's certain clubs in SL that always seem to be packed. These are the tried and true clubs that everybody expects there to be a crowd. The thing about it is some people avoid them because of lag, because the more avatar you have in a place, the more lag you're going to experience. So they steer clear of really packed clubs. Same time, if you look around where I'm sitting in this club, you wouldn't have any problem with that because nobody's here. At the same time, you don't want to be all by yourself in a club, do you? If you're club hopping? I don't think so. So, my go-to thing is if there's 8 or 10 people in a club, that usually works best for me. I don't have any problems rezzing, I don't have any problems with my movement or dancing, and things go well. If I go into a really packed club, for one, I ask myself, are these real people behind these avatars? Sometimes I suspicion clubs pack themselves with like bots or artificial people. I've had people in the past say, I'll say something to them when I was in the club, and they'd say, I'm sorry I didn't answer right away, but this is my friend's club, so I just come here to hang out, to be part. Well, when you get right down to a part of the fixtures, to make it look like there's people in the club, but are they really engaged in the club and what's going on or not? So just because you go to a place you think, oh wow, this place is really hopping because it's so darn popular. There's so many people here. Well, don't be surprised if those are just, people that are planted. So, anyway, the smaller clubs, you're going to find that usually there's actual people there. There are live performers, and they have their own little groupies that follow them around. Those sorts of people are going to usually pack a club with their own followers, and they get paid for their performance. After their performance is over and they're gone, their groupies follow them, so the groupies are not going to be there after that particular performer's done. So be aware of that. What's some of your experience with music in clubs? Has music helped you at a time that you particularly needed it? I know it has throughout my SL life and my real life. Sometimes you just put on music to cry to, quite frankly. Sometimes you put on music because you are really feeling energetic and you want something to work by. I've heard creators say, I'm listening to my music in the background. I get more done. So they turn on the music within SL or YouTube or whatever. Maybe they have a favorite sim where music is playing. They'll kind of steal the stream from that and paste it into the land they're at and creating, and it motivates them to create. There's a reason for that we've just found out. Music stimulates your brain and gets you going. Yes, it does. And it's enjoyable. It's a great way to share with your significant others in Second Life too, by sharing the music with them. Well, this is AJ's Journey, and I'll be back. Have a good one.